So, as you probably most of you know, Bernie Sanders introduced an amendment in the Senate to get a vote on the $15 an hour minimum wage. And again, $15 an hour is still not a living wage. It probably should be, frankly, 25, $30 an hour in most parts of the country in order to be able to afford the essentials of life. So again, this is like a paltry fucking sum, and yet, of course, all the Republicans voted against it. They hate poor people. They hate the working class. That should be well known by all of us by now. And if it's not, then have you had your head in the sand this entire time? What the fuck's going on? But I thought the Democrats were supposed to be a party of the people. I thought they were looking out for the poor, the working class, the middle class, etc. Yet, eight of these pieces of shit voted down, again, what is already a slap in the face of $15 an hour minimum wage. I believe if it had kept up with productivity, the minimum wage would be around $22 an hour right now. And yet, these millionaire senator pieces of shit, eight of them, Democrats, again, voted against it. Of course, the Republicans are abhorrent, uh, capitalists looking out for the capitalist interests, the owner oligarch class. That's well established. But I thought the Democrats, if we got the Democrats in control of the Senate, we were going to get some good shit done. Can't even get a fucking compromise $15 an hour minimum wage because of these pieces of shit. So here's the senators, Democratic senators who voted against it. Manchin, no surprise there. He's not a fucking Democrat. I mean, this motherfucker is really abhorrent. Kristen Sinema, Arizona. Angus King, Maine. Tom Carper, Delaware. Chris Coons, Delaware. John Tester, Montana. Jean Shaheen, New Hampshire, and Maggie Hassan. This is Crystal Ball Rising TV. Every single Dem who voted against a $15 minimum wage should be primaried. Yes, completely. And obviously, primaried from the left, primaried by somebody who actually has progressive values and would do the fucking bare minimum, which would be to support a fucking $15 minimum wage. Fuck. I mean, Christ. And I mean, but again, this didn't even need to get to the spot. It could have been tied to the coronavirus bailout package. Biden could have used his bully pulpit. Sanders, other people who supported this, obviously, the Biden-Harris administration don't really want you to get a $15 minimum wage. Otherwise, they would have not listened to the parliamentarian, again, has no binding power. It's a simple recommendation from somebody that didn't need to be listened to. So if the Biden-Harris administration actually supported and wanted to get $15 hour minimum wage, they could have kept it in the fucking bailout package, which they didn't. And again, which was just a way for them to scapegoat and get rid of any obligation they had to support it. So this is Bernie. If any senator believes this is the last time they'll cast a vote on whether or not to give a raise to 32 million Americans, they're sorely mistaken. Sanders continued. We're going to keep bringing it up. We're going to get it done because it is what the American people demand and need. I agree, but where's that same energy calling out Biden and Harris for completely dropping the ball in this? I mean, for God's sakes. And again, hugely popular. And this is a good point. Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor, I don't know why that was so difficult to say, John Fetterman, Democrat U.S. Senate candidate, said in a statement Friday that every single senator who voted against a $15 an hour minimum wage today should be forced to live on $7.25 an hour to see how they can demonstrate to all of us how it's possible. Yes, they make $174,000 a year, and lawmakers take in $608 per hour, and yet these motherfuckers think we don't deserve a $15 minimum wage, which again isn't even a fucking living wage, but it is obviously a step in the right direction. Obviously, it should be a lot more, as I've said. But they make, think about that, $608 an hour for their time in DC, and yet they don't think we deserve a $15 an hour minimum wage. And again, it's Democrats who voted this down. They had enough votes. They control the Senate. And then, with Kamala Harris being the tie-breaking vote, and it could have stayed in the bailout, it didn't. Democrats don't really want you to have this either. And let's just take a look at some of the net worth of some of these piece of shit Democrats who voted against this. Joe Manchin, $8 million fucking dollar net worth. That was in 2018 estimated. But Jesus Christ, dude. And he doesn't think you deserve a $15 minimum wage, but he's worth millions. So it obviously is not impacting him or his family. He's a rich piece of shit. Chris Coons, a senator from Delaware, little under $11 million estimated net worth in 2018. And he doesn't think you deserve a $15 minimum wage, but it's because he's sitting quite comfortable, very comfy with that $11 million net worth. John Tester, senator from Montana, somewhere around three and a half, somewhere-ish $1 million net worth. He doesn't think you deserve a $15 minimum wage. Guess what? It's not going to impact him. He's already worth millions. He already gets paid hundreds of dollars an hour to deny the working class fucking crumbs in this case. And here is Kristen Sinema, her response to this. What did she say? I understand what it's like to face tough choices while working to meet your family's most basic needs. You make $174 fucking $1,000 a year. You make $600 an hour, and you just voted to not give people a $15 minimum wage. If you know the difference that better wages make, why would you vote against this, you fucking psychopath? I mean, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck? And this is, like, really? Let's see what the people in the comments are saying. I won't be voting for you again. Yeah, completely agree. You can't even fucking do the bare minimum. Why? Please. If you live in one of these states, and you're able to / wanting to primary these pieces of shit from the left, I know that's quite a tall task with fundraising and all the fucking bullshit that comes with, U.S. elections, but Jesus Christ. Hope y'all primary her as a Republican. We can't beat her. What does that even fucking mean? She won't, because she's a conservative, not a progressive. I agree. Like, this is not a very progressive thing to do, to vote against fucking the bare minimum, $15 minimum wage. I mean, goddamn, shame on you completely. And the filibuster, primary her. Yes. Give up your salary, see how you like living on $7.25. Yes. Again, these motherfuckers make $600 an hour, and yet they're saying you don't deserve a $15 an hour minimum fucking wage. How just completely out of whack and disgusting is that? The ironic thing is that you and I pay for her salary. Yes, completely agree. Let's see. I live out in Z, wanted to like you so badly. I'll be donating to your primary opponent. Yes. Love the energy. Yes. And this, I mean, for fuck's sake, this is a hugely popular issue. Let's just do a quick, how many people support a $15 minimum wage? I'm not the best typer, as you can see. 2/3. And this was from 2019. It's probably even fucking higher now. Because of the pandemic and how just fucking shitty everything is in the hellhole that is the United States. 2/3. Highly popular. They're only not, the people that are voting against this are doing it because they don't give a shit about the working class. They know their wealthy donors and the capitalist class, that's really who butters their bread. And again, they're not they're obviously not in touch with the great needs of the working class right now, especially the most vulnerable and marginalized who would benefit from this increase. It's because they're so fucking insulated in their little DC bubble, their little elite bubble where they're making fucking $600 an hour, and they have the goal to deny you a $15 an hour minimum fucking wage. I mean, Jesus Christ. And the Democrats, look, Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents are largely united in backing a $15 federal minimum wage. 86%. 86%. Yes. Primary the shit out of these pieces of shit so you can actually get somebody in there who will do the bare fucking minimum. Again, should be a lot higher than $15 minimum wage. Probably should have been that a decade or two ago, for being honest. It's the bare minimum, and they can't even do that because they don't give a shit about me or you. It's disgusting. Not surprising. That's why we actually need a alternative third party, obviously leftist, socialist, communist leaning, Green Party, something like that, to break this corporate duopoly of the Republicans and Democrats, who we see time and time again do the bidding of the Wall Streets, of the big banks, of the capitalist class, and we get fucking nothing. We keep getting shafted by both Republicans and Democrats. And I think until we have a viable third party, or some type of general strike movement, some type of worker solidarity, something like that, we're going to continuing to have to put up with this bullshit, unfortunately. Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content. Peace. Side peace. And all power to the people. Much love.